All right. So I'm not that familiar with like schizophrenia, but I had like a similar experience that they would like try to liken to Carl Jung. He had schizophrenia, then he built so much. He built so much psychology. I can't wait to go back to him. Can't wait to go back to school. So, this ties into the singularity too. If you have schizophrenia, and you hear these crazy voices, do you ever like sit there and just think like they're a joke, and the one who is inside you is greater than the one in the world? So you would just be like, "Who's there? Who is that?" And then what helped me a lot in my mind is to kind of make a lot of the after the Socratic method, because different things will arise in you, and you'll be like, well, what, you'll question that, and you'll come to like a Socratic method inside your own self. Now, I never had like schizophrenia that was demonic voices or anything seeming like that. That wasn't myself. So maybe it's like voices from the abyss, but you don't have to listen to them. So you can literally trap them in your design and be like, "Who's there? Who are you?" And just poke around, see what you get. It's not like the voices are gonna like take over your control. Um, I'm sure that things get to those level. That's where I'm familiar with like an outside force that could just like take you and throw you out of a window or something. But this force never did that. Never even yelled at me. But it had this power. It wasn't it, but this power that I'm going with and equating with, a similarity to God, that just came at whatever time God decided was the right time. So it wasn't anything where I was like, all right, I call the institution and they're going to activate my card and my chip and my mind will be back in play. It wasn't anything like that. So, and if I had the voice like turn on me or something, that's where it would be like, well, you're just gonna turn on me and lock me in your voice prison. So, and I don't really hear voices. I don't hear voices. I don't have like a tape that runs in my head. I forget what that's like. I think that's like a disadvantage in some ways, but that's fine. I don't have to do it all. I'm not here to do everything. So, just sometimes I just think about how that goes back to, if you have like these haunting voices, think about how that's not you. That's not you. And think about how you could put that on, like how you can create an outlet for what you think is negative. So you're not seeing, like, could you get blinded by evil? And then you're like, well, I can't say, like, this is the global elite haunting me directly, but you can make up any cosplay that you want. And if they're demonic killer voices, I'm sure, you won't have a hard time hitting your mark if you put them in the right directions. So try that. Consider yourself the center of these experiences that are happening or whatever, not in an egotistical manner, but in a manner of, how do these voices know? How do they know that? Like, how are you going to if I'm not dumb enough to know or smart enough to know already, then maybe I'm too dumb to, because maybe it's bullshit in the first place. So, you know, not from like an egotistical standpoint, like I rule this area of voices. Just ask questions. Like, well, who are you? When the voices tell you to do something, you know, I find a lot of times that these things above, they don't fight in violence and physics like we do. They fight in questioning. And once you like double bind them, they dissolve, they go away. And then you get like wisdom from that. It's like on an astral plane or something, like you're clearing a floor in a space. But I think that's where development is. Because if you're hearing these voices, you don't want anything to do with them. But if they keep coming back and insisting, Imagine that you took control of all these voices, and then they're like, well, I don't know how to stop coming to this guy, and he's just eating me for fun. Like, he's eating these voices like medicine. So maybe these voices are coming from like big pharma. Why don't you get in here? Why don't put don't Alright, so I'm turning on the recorder and the voice is saying, don't do that. Don't turn on the recorder. Be strong. Be strong, man. Why don't you just ask questions like, well, what do you mean be strong? Or, what is all this? Just ask. Inquire. And then I think that's in the heart. If you're just inquiring, you might find out these things aren't as horrible as they seem or whatever, influential over you as they seem. That maybe they're trying to, like, whatever these things are, they're just like interference. Maybe they're voices of the dead, maybe they're global elite dead corpses that talk, and they play these songs off these corpses, then you could draw an art picture, of like demonic men playing pigs with a bow, like a violin, and the pigs are just bleeding all over these haunted voices, something like that. That'd be weird. So, if anyone out there tries that, let me know. That's all.